Let's say you're at a company, you're using a smart card, right? And that smart card has your identity information loaded onto the smart card, and it has what's called a certificate. All right, there's this whole thing about private keys, public keys, asymmetric, symmetrical key signing. We'll get into that with later videos. But essentially, you have the certificate and what's called a private key stored on your badge. Okay, the certificate has your public key. You can use the public key to decrypt a message that was signed with the private key. Let's say we're about to send an email and we want to digitally stamp it. When you digitally stamp the email, before that happens, your email client is going to perform what's called a hash of the email, right? It's going to take the content and essentially fingerprint the content of that email and produce this long string of texts and numbers. That's what's called a hash, right? So we have this hash. Your private key on your badge is going to encrypt the hash, right? So we have this long string of numbers and texts that's going to get encrypted with your private key, right? And so you're going to send the email, you're going to send your certificate and the encrypted hash. Now, let's say the recipient, their email client is going to get the email. They now have your certificate, which has your public key and then the encrypted hash. Well, the recipient email client is going to again perform a hash on the email that you sent. The recipient has their own hash, and then they received the encrypted hash. And so what they're going to do is they're going to take your public key that you sent them, right, in the certificate, and then decrypt the hash that you sent them, and then compare their hash with your hash that you sent. And ideally, the two hashes should be exactly identical. And what that means is that the email was not altered in any way, right? So we verified the integrity of the email, but also because you were able to decrypt the hash with the sender's public key, the sender's certificate, that means that the sender was the only one that could have sent that email and encrypted that hash in the first place. So now you have verified that the sender really is the sender with the smart card, the smart badge that sent the email. This is the kind of stuff that you need to learn if you're getting into cybersecurity, right?